Hey guys, welcome to another video. If you're new here, my name is Kiara and I'm a full-time crochet business owner, and in this video I will be bringing you guys along with me to sell my crocheted plushies at a market. So in this video we will be doing some market prep together. Of course I will bring you guys along to the market with me and do like a vlog type thing, and then as usual I will give you guys a whole breakdown of all my sales after the market. So for those of you who watch my videos like regularly, you may know I had a big fair last weekend where I sold my crocheted plushies, and I didn't make a video about it, but in my last video, which was 2 weeks ago, I mentioned I was gonna make a video about it and I was really excited. So I apologize about not making a video. The only reason I decided not to make a video, like I had started filming it and everything, like it was midway through the weekend, midway through the fair, that I was like, yeah, we're not going to be doing a video, because I sold a lot more than expected at that fair, and I decided that after the fair I needed all the time possible to restock and make more stuff for my upcoming markets, since I still have a bunch coming up. So I thought my time was better used to make more stuff rather than spending 1 or 2 full days editing a video. So that's why there's not going to be a video for the big fair, but it went really well. I sold out of so many items, and so this past week has been a lot of like making those specific items that I needed more of, because I just sold so much stuff, it was insane. So that's obviously good that I sold that much stuff, but now my inventory is a bit lower than I'd like it to be for my upcoming markets, but I did the best I could this past week, and my next market is tomorrow. So right now is Saturday and tomorrow's market is on Sunday. So yeah, I did my best. I made what I could. I'm only one person, so that's just how it's gonna be, and people are gonna have to pick from what I have. I still have a good selection. I did my best to make more of the items I sold out of, but still try to make a good variety so that people can choose from the items that I do have. So, like I normally do, I will show you guys kind of one by one the items that I crocheted in the past week. Just show you them, talk about them a little bit, and then we will have to put price tags and tags with my logo on them to get them all ready for tomorrow's market. So I won't mention for every item whether I just freehanded it or if there's a pattern available. If there is a pattern or tutorial available, it will be linked in the description for you guys. And if it's not linked, if there's nothing linked for that specific item that you're looking for, then I freehanded it, so unfortunately there is no pattern to share for it. Alright, so this is like in no particular order, so I'm just gonna start showing you all the items. So I made 2 snakes. I made them both in like a kind of like green and blue and green color palette, I guess, because all the snakes that I had left were like pink and then like pink and purple. So I wanted some of these colors because I had some and then they all sold. So I think these are super cute, and they both have like these, where's his eyes? These snake eyes. I think they're actually both the exact same eyes. So yeah, these are super cute and fun to make. Then I have 2 big dragons. I tried to make them in like similar colors than the ones that I did sell at the fair. This one is actually like identical to the one I sold at the fair. This one isn't actually the same colors, but very similar, just like a very colorful and like light color palette. So yeah, I had fun making these. Then I have these 2 elephants. I love these 2 like different colors. I think it's super cute. I do have some like just gray ones, so I thought I'd make like a bit more colorful ones. Then I made a weighted chicken. I know this probably looks like just a big chicken, but it is weighted. So my mom makes weighted pouches, and she fills them with glass and plastic little beads. They're very little, and so it's almost like sand, and then she sews that pouch shut, and then I crochet around it. And these weighted chickens have been really, really popular. I only had one left for my next market. Actually, after the fair I had two left, but I did have to send some inventory with my mom because my mom, well, both my parents came to visit me and helped me out with the fair last weekend. And then when my parents left, I gave them some inventory because my mom does some markets for me where she lives with my plushies. I'm actually moving there next year, so it's kind of a good way for me to get my foot in the door. And so yeah, she needed more inventory, so I had to give her one of the weighted chickens, so now I only had one left. So yeah, I sold a lot of stuff at the fair, and I had to give some to my mom too, so it didn't leave me with much. So anyways, I made one more weighted chicken. I made it this white or like cream color because for me, it's been this color that sells the most in weighted chickens. Usually this is like the first weighted chicken to go. I usually have different color options. This is usually the first to go, and then that one's not available anymore, so people pick the different colors, but I just made it in this color since it seems to be popular. Then I made 3 hot dogs. They do come in a little red basket with the napkin. These also did really, really well at the fair, and I had to send a few to my mom, so I had, after all that, I think I had like one left, so I'm like, hey, I need to make more of these because they're kind of like my little signature plushie, so it is my own design, and a lot of people like know me from making these hot dogs, so I just had to stock up on them a little bit, and if I have more time today, I might try to make more. Well, oops, I'm dropping them. We'll see, depending on the time I have today and what I need to make, but I had to stock up a little bit. I probably should have showed you guys this one with the weighted chicken, but it is a weighted plushie, or like, it's kind of like a weighted cushion. It looks a bit weird when I hold it like this on my table. I always just like put them flat like this, and they are meant to put like on your chest for anxiety, kind of like the same concept as a weighted blanket, just not as heavy and easier to carry around and stuff. So I actually didn't sell one of these at the fair, but my mom sold one of these at her previous market that she did for me, so then I had to send her another one because she didn't have another one. So I had 2 in my inventory, I gave her one, and so I just made another one to kind of, you know, fill that spot. So yeah, it's the same color as one of the elephants I made, and I just love this yarn so much. I think it's so pretty. Then I made 4 cats. I will show you guys the different colors and stuff. And I made 4 because I just wanted to restock a little bit. I completely sold out of these cats on the first day of the fair. Like, not even at the end of the day either. Like, about midway through the day, I was like, okay, so I sold all the cats. And I didn't have time to make any more throughout the weekend. So maybe I would have sold more cats at the fair had I had more. I started with 6 and sold them all on the Friday. The Friday of the fair was insane. It was crazy. So we have 2 of these gray cats. I think the only difference is like the eye color. Then I have this like speckled brown one. I usually use this yarn for weighted chickens, but the weighted chickens in this specific color have just not been selling as well as the other ones. I thought they would because I thought it was a super cute color, but they haven't really been selling in that color, so I figured I might as well try to make something different with that color. So we'll see if cats in that color sell well, if people like it. And then we have like a mix of brown. I don't even know if like there's real cats in these colors, but I think it's cute. They all have like these silly eyes in different colors, so we'll see if we sell all of these this weekend. Then I have just one chubby bunny, and it has like a little pom-pom tail. I was running a bit low on these, but there was other things that were more important to make, so I just made one, kind of restock a little bit without spending too much time on these specifically. Then I have 4 of these mushies. They're all a little bit different. So this one, the top is like a brighter red, and then the body is like a cream color, same as the weighted chicken from earlier. It's not completely white. And then this one is same color for the top, but as you can see, the body is a bit darker, so it's like a beige. And then I have these two. They have floofs on them. The top is like a darker red, and then they have the two different colored bodies. So I restocked on these because I only had one left after the fair, and I have a mystical themed event next weekend. So I feel like mushrooms are kind of in that category, so I do want to keep those in stock for that event. Obviously, I will be displaying them tomorrow, but if they sell, I'm going to have to make more, and if they don't, at least I have them left for my mystical event. Then I have 3 silly frogs like this, 2 in this mint color and 1 in like a darker green color. Didn't have any left after the fair, so I just had to make more. I make them with like really chunky yarn, and their legs curl like that, and so many people just find it so funny. So yeah, I made these 3, and I do need to make more of these in like a smaller version with just thinner yarn, but I think I'm going to bring that yarn at the market and then I can make them there. Then I made 3 of these like regular sized chickens. These aren't weighted, they're just little chickens, but they're not my smallest chickens. Usually I have mini chickens. I completely sold out of mini chickens at the fair, and I actually didn't make any for this weekend, so maybe today I'll try to make some of those. And yeah, so I made the regular size chickens, I guess, in these colors because I did have 3 left after the fair, but they were all like black and white speckled yarn. I didn't have any like brown ones or beige ones or anything left, so I wanted to stock up a bit on these different colors. So yeah, hopefully I do have time to make mini chickens though, because they're very popular. Then I made 2 medium bees. I call them medium bees because I have a giant bee, and then I also have some smaller bees, so I guess this is the size in the middle. I made 2. I would like to make more, so today if I have time, that might be something that I will try to make more of, since they've been really popular this year, and sometimes I have trouble keeping them in stock. So I have these 2, I have 1 left in my inventory before, so I have 3. Maybe that's enough. We'll see. Hopefully I can make maybe 1 more. Then I have 4 geese like this. These have been so popular. I don't know why. I mean, they are very cute, but I don't know what it is. At the fair, I had brought 6 and sold out of them completely on Friday, kind of like the cats. And then I was like, okay, so I need to bring more yarn to make more geese on Saturday. And then on Saturday, I wasn't feeling that well, so I didn't crochet all day. My mom was there helping me with like sales and stuff, but yeah, I just wasn't feeling that well, so I wasn't like, you know, pushing myself too hard, crocheting too much. I don't know. So, and then finally I did make 1 goose on Saturday, and my mom was putting a tag on it, so it wasn't even done technically, and someone was like, can I buy that? My mom was like, yeah, can I just finish putting the tag on it? And they were like, yeah, take your time. So the goose had sold before it was even out, and then I just kept making more when I felt a bit better, and on Sunday I made more also. They just kept selling. I don't know, like I would put it out and it would sell, so that was absolutely crazy. So I made 4. Hopefully that's enough for now, but I might need to make more for my next events coming up. Then I have 6 rubber duckies like this. And the rubber duckies were honestly kind of the same thing as the geese at the fair. They just kept selling. I would make more and they would sell. At the end, I had none left. So again, I made 6. We'll see if I need to make more. But something is up with the rubber duckies and the geese. People just love them so much. Then I have 3 little ghosts. Halloween is coming up, and I sold out of these at the fair. Made 3. Might need to make more since Halloween is in like 3 weeks, not even, less than 3 weeks. So yeah, these have been really popular this year, even like a long time before Halloween. So yeah, I might need to make more of these. Then I have 9 of these chicken nuggets. I'm not holding all of them because they would just keep falling on the ground, but they all look the same. I have 9 of them. I had 1 left, so I made 9 to have 10. They're kind of a hit or miss for me this year. Last year, I think they were just selling like hotcakes. It was crazy. This year, sometimes they sell really, really well. At the fair, they did. And for the markets my mom has been doing, they've been selling really well too. So the reason I had 1 left is because I had to send some with my mom because she was completely out. So yeah, now I have 10. My mom has a few. Hopefully it's enough. For me, it's kind of a hit or miss. Like I said, I will go some events without selling even one chicken nugget. So it's kind of odd, but we'll see this weekend. Then I have 4 mini octos. They're all in like a blue color scheme because all the ones I had left were like pink and purple, so I wanted to have a different color. This one is gray though. It was the same yarn for these two, but the yarn's like variegated and it was switching colors. So yeah, I have these 4. Then I have a bunch of turtles in different sizes and styles. So first is the biggest turtles I have made this week. I do have bigger turtles in my inventory, but I didn't make any of the biggest ones this week. So I have 2 medium sea turtles. They're the same colors. They just have a bit different eyes and interesting story, I guess. At the fair, I believe I had one of these size of sea turtles stolen, which that's a bit hard to steal because like it's pretty big, but I believe it was probably on Friday, because on Friday it was so busy. Like it was crazy, crazy, crazy. And me and my mom, and when there was a lot of people in the booth, my mom would go stand a bit like at the edge of my booth to actually prevent people from taking off with stuff, because it did happen at that fair last year. So it seems this specific fair is always my best event of the year, but I always have one item stolen. So last year it was a chicken nugget, though it was a lot smaller, but this year it seems to be a bigger turtle. So for the amount of sales I made, I mean, it's not like I'm saying it's okay that someone stole something from me, but for the amount of sales I made, I'm like, well, I guess it is what it is. But yeah, no, my mom was standing at the edge of my booth when there was a ton of people in my booth, just to kind of try to prevent that, but she must have just not been able to see a lot when there was just so many people. I don't blame her. I tried my best too, because I was in my booth trying to, control that too. Anyways, it really sucks that someone stole something from a small business, but I can't do anything about that. So yeah, I didn't sell that many of these at the market or at the fair, but I did need to restock because I did sell a few, and one was stolen and I didn't get paid for it. So I made these 2. I love these colors together so much, so that's why I made 2, so that if one sells, I have another one to put out. So yeah, I think these colors are just so pretty together. Then I have 5 smaller sea turtles. So after the fair, I didn't have any of these left. I didn't sell out, but I had to give some to my mom because she had sold out at her previous market. So then I was like, okay, I'll give you the rest. I think there was only 3 left though. So I was like, okay, I'll give you all 3 left and then I'll make more. So I made 5 more since they are actually pretty popular. So they're just all like different color combinations and they're all falling. So yeah, I just tried to make different color combinations a little bit. I'm sorry if you can't see them very well because they keep falling. And lastly, I feel like this has been going on for a while. So lastly, I have 2 mini turtles. They're not sea turtles, just like land turtles, I guess. And yeah, just made these 2. Didn't completely sell out or anything at the fair, but I figured I might as well stock up a little bit. I had the yarn with me and it was right there. It was accessible. So I figured why not. So I made these 2 cute little turtles. So yeah, that's everything I crocheted in a week, or actually like less than a week, because all of this, I started crocheting all this on Monday. Now it's Saturday morning, like I just got up and didn't crochet anything. So this was all from Monday to Friday, so 5 days. I think that's really, really good. I think that's a lot of stuff. Also, I had like pain in my wrist for the first few days. I wasn't exactly sure from what, if it was from like crocheting too much or what, but I worked through it. It doesn't hurt much anymore. Hopefully it doesn't start again. But yeah, no, I'm just very proud of everything that I did crochet in 5 days, because I was like stressing. I was like, I got almost nothing left. I gotta make more stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm pretty happy with everything I managed to make in 5 days. So now I'm gonna be putting price tags and tags with my logo on all of them. I won't do a time lapse because I feel like that part of me showing you guys everything was pretty long, because I did make a lot of stuff. So I apologize if that was really, really long. But yeah, so I will just go ahead and do that, and I will talk to you guys when I'm done doing that. I'm gonna have to go bring that bag in my car, move things in my car. Some things I had brought to the fair, like display items, that I won't need at tomorrow's market. So I'm just gonna move things around, take those out of my car. So yeah, I'll see you guys after I put tags on the plushies. Alright, so I'm all done putting tags with my logo and price tags on all the items I showed you guys. It took a while because, I mean, there was a lot of stuff, but it's all done now, and a lot of the stuff is in my car, and then I also removed the stuff from my car that I don't need for tomorrow. But I do still have one bin here that's kind of like half full of stuff. I didn't put that one in my cart just yet because I still have some time today, so I will crochet for the rest of the day today, and then anything I make I'm gonna need to get ready and put in this bin. Then I'll put that in my car tonight. So yeah, I just wanted to update you guys, tell you guys all that's done, and then I will just go crochet and, you know, go on with my day, and I will update you guys later on when I'm done crocheting for the night, and then I can show you guys what I made and we can get them all ready for tomorrow together. Alright guys, so it's later Saturday evening, so I will show you guys everything I crocheted today since I spoke to you guys earlier. I just made a few things. So I made 3 axolotls in 2 different sizes because I actually completely sold out of them in all the sizes I had them at the fair last weekend. So I made my biggest size and I used a bit of a different yarn and it came out a lot bigger than it normally does. So usually my biggest size is not this big, but apparently it is now. So this is the biggest size, and so I just made one of the biggest size and then I made 2 smaller ones like this. So those are the 2 different sizes. I just made 2 smaller ones because people are more likely to buy the smaller, cheaper ones instead of the bigger ones, but I'll have both sizes for tomorrow at least. And I made one more item that I will show you. So the other thing I made is a jumbo sea turtle. Earlier I spoke about the different sizes of sea turtles that I have at my markets, and I showed you guys 2 different sizes. This is the biggest size. I didn't have one to show you earlier, but this is it. I don't have the other ones to show you like a size comparison, but I've actually showed like the size comparisons of the 3 different sizes of sea turtles in a lot of my videos, so you can always just go check that out in a few of my recent videos. So yeah, I made those 4 items. So now I just need to put price tags and tags with my logo on all of these to get them ready for tomorrow. So I will go and do that. Alright, so everything has tags and is all ready, I think. So I think we're good for tomorrow. So it's just like a regular market. I've done a ton of these markets at this specific venue last year and this year, and it's in a very like public place in the city. It's like a public market, and then we're set up on a specific street. So yeah, in general this year these markets have been pretty good. Obviously some were better than others. Some of them I was like, wow, I did really well, and some of them I was like, okay, so this one wasn't a very good market, but you know, like in general they were pretty good. So I'm pretty excited, and it's the long weekend here, so I don't know how busy it's gonna be. Like, I don't know if because it's the long weekend it's gonna be busier than usual or less busy. I have no idea what to expect, but we're gonna go there and hope we can have a really good day. I enjoy doing these markets. So yeah, my vendor friend will also be there. She's gonna be my neighbor, so that's always fun to be beside her. So yeah, I'm really excited for tomorrow. I hope it goes well also with the inventory that I do have. So we'll see. And I can't wait to bring you guys along with me. So I'm going to be going to bed very soon, so I will talk to you guys tomorrow morning before I leave for the market. I still need to bring the crate in my car. I didn't do that yet because it's like dark outside, and I don't know, I'm just going to do that tomorrow morning, so I can't forget that. And I also prepared my bag of supplies to crochet over there, since I always bring stuff to crochet when it's a bit slower, so I'm not like wasting time doing nothing. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow morning before we go to the market. Hey guys, it's Sunday morning before the market, so I'm going to be leaving soon, and I will show you guys my setup over there once it's all done, and I will do my best to update you guys throughout the day. That depends on traffic, and my grandparents are coming with me, so I'm going to go pick them up. And if they stay with me like all day, if they don't both leave at some point, I don't really update you guys because when they're there, I like to talk with them and not just pull out my phone and start talking to my phone. So I'll do my best. We'll see how it goes. I hope we can have a really good day. It's almost 11:30. We've been set up for a while, and I had made 2 sales before I was even done completely setting up, and then it's been very, very busy ever since then, really. Like, it's going really well this morning for me, so hopefully it keeps going well, and I'm gonna crochet as much as I can. Hey guys, so I'm back home from Sunday's market, and today was actually a pretty good day. So it actually started really busy, and then I made a lot of sales in the morning. Like I mentioned earlier, I made like 2 sales before I was even done completely setting up, and then it just kept going in the morning. And then for me personally, it slowed down in sales in the afternoon, but the traffic was there like all day. But that's just kind of funny because usually at this venue and like this market, it's the complete opposite, and the morning is really slow in sales for me, and then it gets really busy and I make a lot of sales in the afternoon. But anyways, like at the end of the day, it ends up being the same, and I did really well like I normally do. So yeah, I'm really happy with my sales today. It was just odd that it was busy in the morning instead of the afternoon for me, but it went really well. I'm happy with my sales. My neighbor, who is also a vendor, she said she did really well today too, so that was great. So like, I didn't really know exactly what to expect because it's the long weekend for Thanksgiving, and I was like, I don't know if it's going to be busy, if everyone's going to be out of town, but there was definitely a lot of tourists that it did end up buying from us. Not necessarily tourists from other countries, there were definitely some, but there were like people visiting from not too far away because they were just here for the weekend, so that definitely helped. Also, one thing, there is a food vendor at this event, and they make like meat, like chicken and pork and rice and egg rolls and all that stuff. And they came and brought, I don't know if they brought it to every single vendor, but we've met them like a few times. We've been neighbors sometimes. I think they try not to put like too many like craft vendors beside those food vendors because they make a lot of smoke, but we've became, you know, pretty good friends over the years. And so they brought us like a little meal after the market, me and my vendor neighbor and other vendors too, and they said like happy Thanksgiving. So I just had to add that in there because it was just so nice of them, and it was really, really good. So I just thought that was super, super nice. But now for the part that probably all of you want to know. So I will tell you guys how much money I made today and do a whole breakdown of my sales. So I actually sold quite a few big items today, which definitely helped like bring up the amount of money I made today. So today I made a total of $737. The booth fee was $70. The square fees were quite high because I think most people did pay with a card and some people probably with a credit card. So the square fees were $10.01. So that leaves us with a total profit of $656.99. So I'm really happy about that. I did reach 10 times the booth fee. Not 10 times the booth fee profit, but before all of the fees were taken out, I did reach 10 times the booth fee, which is a good goal I try to set for myself. So I'm pretty proud that I reached that. So now I'm gonna give you guys a whole breakdown of everything I sold today. So I'm gonna tell you guys how many of each items I sold out of the amount that I brought. I will put a picture of the item up here, and I will tell you guys how much I sold the item for. So starting with big axolotls, I started with one and I sold it for $32. I started with two small axolotls and I sold both of them for $18 each. So it was really good that I made those like last night because I sold out of them today. I started with three medium bees and I sold two of them for $20 each. I started with 5 little birds and I sold one for $12. I started with 6 regular chickens and I sold one for $18. I started with one giant bee and I sold it for $55, so that was one of the big items I sold today. I started with 4 geese and I sold 3 of them for $28 each, so I almost sold out. Those were pretty popular today. I started with 9 hats and I sold one for $20. So I did put out my hats after I took my video because I was like, it was getting a little sparse. So I put out like my hats and scarves and stuff. And those hats, I sold one for $20, but I have them for $20 each or 2 for $30. But this customer only bought one, so it was $20. I started with 4 hot dogs and I sold 3 of them for $25 each, so I also almost sold out of those. I started with 52 keychains and I sold 5 of them for $8 each. I also have a deal with the keychains. They're $8 each or 2 for $15. I believe 4 of those keychains were sold as like 2 for $15 to like 2 different customers, and then one was just sold separately for $8. I started with 12 small frogs and I sold one for $8. I started with 5 octopi, not sure, and I sold one for $15. I started with 4 chubby bunnies and I sold 3 of them for $15 each, so those were popular too today. I started with 6 rubber duckies and I only sold one today for $15. Sometimes I sell a lot more than that, but today I only sold one. That's okay. I started with 5 squishies. They're just like the little stress balls, and then you like crochet around it, and then when you squish it, it like comes out. And I sold 2 of them for $8 each. And those go with like the keychains, $8 each or 2 for $15. And usually I actually didn't have these at my like out for sale for a while because they were in my claw machine. I had like a little claw machine and then people could pay to play and win something, but I will talk about that later. But anyways, the squishies are now out of the claw machine and they are out for sale. I started with 5 small sea turtles and I sold 3 of them for $18 each. I started with 4 medium sea turtles and I sold one for $25. I started with 2 weighted chickens and I sold both of them. One was $35 and one was $38. They were slightly different in price because the weights in them were a bit different. So the cheaper one was a bit lighter because the reason they're more expensive is the weighted material is very expensive. So yeah, the cheaper one was lighter, the more expensive one was heavier. I started with 2 weighted cushions and I sold one for $65. Now, those are a lot more weighted than the weighted chickens, so again, that's why they're more expensive. And those ones are really meant to like put on your chest for anxiety, and it like relieves stress and stuff. I started with 8 mini whales and I sold one for $8. And then I sold 2 items in like my little clearance section for $2 each. One of them was a scrunchie and the other one was like a little coin bag, I guess, that I made a long time ago. So I did put out some like clearance items again when my table got really sparse and I had nothing else to put out. So yeah, they're just items I made a while ago that I'm trying to clear out. So that's a total of 38 items that sold, so that's amazing. And then also there was a few more expensive items. There was the jumbo bee, there was the weighted cushion, and I mean the 2 weighted chickens are pretty higher priced items too. So it was a great day overall, lots of good sales. So now I will tell you guys about today's best sellers. So number 1 is keychains, which is pretty usual, and I sold 5 of them. And we have a 4-way tie for number 2, and they're all items I sold 3 of. So number 2, we have chubby bunnies, small sea turtles, hot dogs, and geese. I sold 3 of all of those items. So yeah, they were pretty like typical items that sold today, things that normally sell. The keychains are always good sellers. Hot dogs are always a good seller. The geese too, I mean every time I make a goose it sells. So yeah, it was pretty typical like that. And yeah, so the reason I don't have the claw machine out anymore is because, like, I found that too many kids would come into my booth and just literally manhandle the machine while it wasn't even on, because I had it turned off unless someone paid to play, and then I would turn it on and explain to them how it works and all that stuff. But so many kids would just come in my booth and the machine was off and they would just like start playing with it aggressively, and I was like, someone's gonna break the thing. And so I just decided to take the stuff that was in the claw machine and put it out on the table for sale and just retire the machine for now at least. Maybe I'll bring it out again in the future, but right now it just doesn't seem like a good idea when I already have a lot of kids like manhandling my items. I'm like, I don't need to bring something else in here that they're gonna play aggressively with. So yeah, that's why I don't have it out anymore. But it was pretty fun for those kids who didn't like manhandle it and played with it nicely once they paid to play. So I did have some good experiences with it, but unfortunately there was just a lot of bad ones. So I'd say today's market was pretty successful. I made lots of good sales. I met lots of great people, customers and vendors, and I definitely have a lot of restocking to do, because usually like as stuff sells, I have a bin under my table and I just put more stuff out to fill those gaps. And then like right off the bat, I had like almost nothing else in my bin, just like a few extra keychains and small things like that. But I didn't have anything else to put out when like bigger items sold. So that's really when I pulled out like my winter hats and scarves and the clearance section I had at the fair last weekend, which I actually got rid of a lot of stuff. It's mostly stuff that I made when I was a lot younger. It's still well made. I've been crocheting for a very, very long time. So those are items that I made like when I wasn't necessarily selling my stuff, or maybe I was and it just never sold. So they're just little like very little handbags, little coin bags. I had like some scrunchies in there. So yeah, they're just things that I'm like, okay, I could clear those out now for very cheap when I made them when I was like maybe 12. So it doesn't really matter if I sell them for cheap right now. So yeah, it made some people happy to get some stuff for cheaper than usual. So I think that was great, and it filled in some gaps in my table too, since I'm low on inventory right now, but I'm doing my best to restock. So that's gonna be it for me for today's video. I have a lot of restocking to do, so I gotta get crocheting. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and definitely stay tuned for more videos like this, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!